Now it is recording. Okay. Hilchos Halacha in the middle of Seif Vav. It is very important for a person not to fall into oldness that stems from the Sitra Achara. But to strengthen oneself and to be mitchadesh b'chol yom. Rabbeinu says, ad kedei kach, he says that spiritually, so much so that spiritually, the root of chachmei hateva, of sciences, of godless
researching and
no, Bechlal, the whole. What is the basis of science? Bechlal. The basis of science, and this is what Aristotle. That was his. It was his mahalach that science is the attempt to explain the world without Hashem. This is because if Hashem is in it,
what's there to explain?
What's there to explain? I mean, it's so the whole thing is involved in. Okay, if you take Hashem out of the mishva'ah, out of the equation, then what then? What now? How do you do that? So now I think every single thing has its roots in ruchnas, has its root in spirituality, in the spiritual sense, in the kedusha. And it says, what is the root? What is the shorish of this godless science of chachmei hateva? That the Rebbe calls them beasts. Chayot torfot, he calls them. So he says, this is old people that don't renew themselves. As kenim, shalom achadshim yimeihem. The elders, they don't renew their days. Because what happens is that when somebody allows himself to get old and not renew himself constantly, this stems from the perception of time. Already did it. It was then, and this is now. It's going to be tomorrow. It's like it gives credence to time and place, as if.
It seems you're taking yourself.
What?
It seems like you're taking yourself out of the reality of what the Hashem's making.
You're
recreating it all the time.
Yeah.
Like you say in the davening, and you're going to take yourself out of that and say, no, he's not. I'm becoming old.
That's right, and that's the source. That's the spiritual source for godless science. That's what we're talking about.
I mean, getting stuck in your ways is the source for the science.
Yes, but we're talking about elders of kedusha, because this is the. See, you have to understand something. The Sitra Achara has to latch on to the kedusha somehow, because there is no other source of life or vitality except from the kedusha. So whenever there's a blemish in the kedusha, whenever there is a nick in the arm, this is that it can take it from there. So this is the shorish. So the kelim the kedusha that don't renew their days. They are attached to the kedusha, but they fall into time and place. When you fall into time and place, this is where the Sitra Achara is. See, the thing is, the Sitra Achara is anything but stupid.
What?
Stupid. I mean, it's the ultimate stupidity, but Sammy is far from stupid. He knows where to go. He says that he leaves all the nations in the world, or latches himself onto Israel. He says it lets go of all of Israel and latches himself to Talmidei Chachamim.
Is that because you can't gain chayas from the nation?
What is it to gain? What are you going to gain?
There's no kedusha.
A burger, maximum.
Premier League football, what are you going to gain? There's nothing there. Once needs life, needs vitality, needs chayut, you know.
Righteous people in the nations of the world, surely if they do something good, it's goodish.
זה נכון, you're right.
Not in the
But
same.
we're talking about,
Not like you.
but it's not the same. It's not the same kind of kedusha. But what you're saying now is true, but it's immaterial. So you can say, okay, so it latches onto them as well. But the main thing is that the shosh of Chachmei Teva, of the godless scientists, and science is zkanim the kedusha that don't renew their days, they don't rejuvenate themselves. Okay, צריך אדם להיזהר מאוד ליפול לזקנה בסדרה אחרה. First, you should be very careful not to fall into old age of סדרה אחרה. רק להתחזק ולהתחדש בכל עץ כנ"ל, but to strengthen himself and renew himself every single time. ידוע מבהינו בכל יום ובכל שעה, כאילו היום נולד. A person should be by himself every single day and every single hour as if he was born today. וכאילו היום מקבל התורה מחדש. Today he's receiving the Torah all new. כמו שאמרו חז"ל, בכל יום יהיו בעיניך כחדשים. Every single day they should be like new in your eyes. שכל זה מבחינת ערך אפיים. All this is included in the concept of ערך אפיים, of patience.
Does this include us as well in our own readers and our own?
Of course.
Why does it say like the old people? Why is it specific? I mean, just old in your ways.
It puts oldness. It doesn't put necessarily old age, oldness.
Is that why we view our going down and coming up as a positive thing? Because we're renewing ourselves constantly.
This is, if you take it that way, this is what it is. If you take it as trials and tribulations, I really don't have care for this anymore. You know, it really forget about it. Then it becomes oldness. You should keep yourself from oldness.
Oldness is like a constriction of all your potential too. I mean,
Yeah.
Just settle in.
It's
Can't say
paralysis, isn't it? Paralysis.
It's stagnation, is what it is. והמידה הזאת, שמבחינת ערך אפיים, שמעריכה פה כל דובר מניע ובלבול בשל העולם, a person, withstands and overcomes and disregards all the obstacles and all the confusion in the world. ועבר על הכל, and passes everything. וסחזק בכל פעם בעבודוסי, and strengthens himself each time in the Avodas Hashem. ומידה זו של ערך אפיים, and this trait of patience הוא עיקר בחינת תיקון הדיקנו. This is the very essence of the rectification of the beard, which is the 13 receptacles of compassion, which is Keser Elyon Shemchet Zaken Shebekedusha. This is the oldness of Shebekedusha Shezaken Be'emet is really good. Chai Chaim Aruchim Be'emet, because here it's only somebody who is Zaken the Kedusha Be'emet is living truly long life. Why is it called a long life? Because it begins to live each time anew. ורק זהו בחינת זקן זקנה לקדושה, and only this is old age לקדושה, בחינת חיים ארוכים, a long life. כי כשנופל לזקנה דסדרה אחרה, that when a person falls into oldness of defilement, היינו שנזדקן בעבודתו אצלו, and he's already bored. This whole thing of learning, davening, going to shul. Okay, sure. And how much more so when a person falls from Avodas Hashem altogether. That a person feels that he has become so stuck in the rut of his averot and his sins and he figures that it's too late for me. I can never change. I can never. This kind of oldness is the very essence of short life. קובב דברי רבנו ז"ל, שזקנים כאלו, that here Rebbe says it himself, that such old people, שאינם מוסיפים חיות ותוספת עבודה that do not add liveliness and addition in avoided at all time, נקראים קצר ימים ושבע רוגז. It's called somebody who is short-lived and full with strife and anger. והם בתורה ביום הכיפורים, נקודת תנין סימן ד'. סימן זין, הכלל שכל אדם שרוצה לחשוב תכניס האחרון, every person that wants to think about what's going to be with him. What's his end? What does he live for? צריך לזהור מאוד לבלי להיות זקן כלל, has to be very careful not to be old. דהיינו שלא יפול לזקנה בסירה אחת, not to fall to oldness, the oldness of סטרה אחרה. אין צדיק, אין חסיד. Being that he is an old tzaddik, and being is an old chassid, and kol shar kol odom, and everybody else, afilu ha'pocho shebachutim, even the one who is the lowest of the low, kefi ma shu tzrich lizor mipol hazikna hanal, that whatever it is that he needs to make sure that he doesn't fall into the zikna, into such old age. Ki afilu tzaddik gadol asur liot zaken b'avodo. So even a great tzaddik is forbidden to become old in his avodah. Even though he was already attained, a perfection of avodah. In other words, he's a very, very high madrega. He has to strengthen himself and rejuvenate himself to go from one station to the next. And begin new each and every time. This is the main principle of Judaism. To strengthen yourself, to ascend and go up at all times from one level to the next. As I heard from Rebbe Nosson בעת שהתחיל לו מהתורה, תשע תיקונים יקיר הסמכת והתמסו לדיקנו, is the nine precious rectifications that were given to the beard. This is a certain passage from Tikkunei Zohar that deals with the deepest Torah of Kabbalah. So he says, Rebbeinu says in this language, anybody who wants to be a real Jew, in other words, that he should go from one level to the next, should never stop. The only way that one can achieve it is through the essence of Eretz Yisrael. And from the crux of what the Rebbe is saying is, you're not really called a real Jew, except when you keep on moving, ascending and improving from one level to the next. And this is something which is attainable through Eretz Yisrael. And should see in the Torah there. Yes. Both. Rebbe Nosson asked Rebbe, what do you mean? He says, what do you mean Eretz Yisrael? Rebbe says, Posh Eretz Yisrael, the houses, the fields. Yeah. That's the essence of long life. This is the Torah that's called life. And the same applies also the other way around. Anybody who did already what he did, and he transgressed what he transgressed and he fell, don't get old with this. That's me, that's what I do, man. That's my life. I sit by the computer all day and I waste my time. That's what I do. Has to waste it and stop wasting your time. Stop wasting the time. Don't fall into despair. Because it's so easy to despair. So easy to despair, so easy to fall into a rut that, this is what I do. And the more you fall into the rut, the more things keep deteriorating. And the more things deteriorate, the more dispirited you become, the more discouraged you become, the more despaired you become. The more you take yourself, you say, it doesn't make a difference anyhow what I do. So you fall into doing it even more, which gets things down even more, and it's a spiral. It keeps on going down and down and down and down until a person feels that, what do I have to change for? There's nothing I can do anyhow. There's nothing I can change anyhow. What, I'm going to start changing my life? I'm going to change my whatever. It says, don't fall into such despair. A person should not say chas v'chalila that he's already gotten old in his deeds. Until it is impossible for him to change chas v'shalom. A person should strengthen him to start in anything he can. In anything he can. Anything he can. It doesn't matter how small. It doesn't matter how minute.
I was listening to Rizzo. I want to know who he was.
Okay.
So I looked him up and I watched the share he gave in the LA here in Hebrew. He said he started Friday night challenge. He said everything else was too hard. Just Friday night.
Start with whatever it is that you can. ויעשה מה שיוכל, דבר קטן או דבר גדול, and do whatever it is that you can. A small thing or a big thing. אפילו אם לא יוכל לא אומר כי אם דיבור אחד ממש בתפילה בהתבודדות. Even if you can't just say one, if all you can do is just say one single thing in tefillah and התבודדות. Just one thing. And the Sitra Achara will tell you, come on. It's nothing. What is this compared to all the time that you burn doing that which you should not be doing and seeing which you should not be seeing and saying which you should not be saying. So you said the word of Kedusha, so what? What's a big deal? And afterwards you fall down from it again. If you keep on doing this little thing again, if you're doing a good thing, even if in the middle of the sea of darkness, you keep on doing the good thing. One thing, one word, and you keep on doing it, and you keep on doing it. Even if you fall from it, you start again. At the end, it clicks.
It almost seems better to be on a level where you're constantly working on yourself, even if that means you're sinning and then doing teshuva and then sinning, than to be on a higher level where you're just feeding the halacha and you're almost doing more harm than good.
The point is, it's a much harder. Each test is a test of its own. Not to fall into oldness of Sitra Achara, not to fall into oldness of the Kedusha. What is better, what is worse, is not our place to give it marks.
So this is what we were saying.
Wherever you are, this is.
Surely the oldness of the Sitra Achara and the oldness of Kedusha is the same thing.
No, the oldness of the Kedusha is when you start all over again at each moment, which means you're living each moment. The old Sitra Achara means you exist each moment. Getting old means you just exist. Living long means you live every single moment.
But he was saying that yesterday. He was saying that the point is to fight, not to win. You don't necessarily have to win. You're expected to fight, right?
Yes. It's like מה שיוכל דבר קטן או דבר גדול, even a small thing or a big thing. אפילו לא יוכל לומר כי אם דיבור אחד ממש בתפילה בהתבודדות, או ללמוד מעט למעט, or learn ממש like a word. הכל פה, יעשה מה שיוכל, do whatever it is that you can. וישחזק ויחיה עצמו במעט למעט שזוכה עדיין ניגע בקדושת ישראל, and strengthen yourself and pep talk yourself with rejuvenate yourself and strengthen yourself in every single nekuda that you merit to touch the holiness of being a Jew. Because the truth of the matter is, when you look at things realistically, no matter how you are, you're doing mitzvahs every single day. The fact it doesn't shine to you and you don't really get any kick out of it. I mean, you put on film, right? I mean, you say brachot, you keep Shabbos, you keep kosher, whatever. Even somebody who was consciously not trying to do mitzvot, he's still doing mitzvot every single day. The Vada will say, "Kama mitzvahs b'chol yom." A person is doing quite a few mitzvahs every single day. Even Posh Yisrael, they're full with mitzvahs like a pomegranate. This incredible practice that Rabbeinu has ordered us to search for Nekudas Tovos, for good points of light in ourselves in every time. As it says in the Torah Resh Pei Beis, which is one of the Torahs that Rebbe said that this has to be, something that this is something we have to walk with and go with at all times. As it said in Likutei Halachos a few times over and over and over. Be mischazik yourself and begin each time anew. Don't lose yourself, don't lose your way, don't throw it all away. Everything that you can possibly do in order to achieve, do it. And the main thing is patience. Yes.
Why is it phrased in that way?
Anger is called kotzer af, shortness of breath. And so the lengthening of the breath, which is arichas apayim, you let it, you let it slide, you let it pass. And it's shortness of what?
It's a description of the nature of the
Yeah.
So why is the essence of being new?
Patience.
Why is patience the essence of being new?
Because you need patience in order not to get caught up with the trials and tribulations of your everyday reality. And not to fall from that. So I'm going through this spirit now. What can I do?
To wait and just keep going.
It's okay. It's okay. But look what's going on with you. Look what I'm doing.
Catch up.
All right.
Also, not
This
to
is a good
expect,
country to live in, to get patient.
not to expect all the kedusha to fall on your head in like 5 minutes.
In
time, you need patience.
And the whole thing, the secret of the Kedusha is to overcome and to hold on. Before Rebbe Nosson came close to Rabeinu, he was a Talmud of Rabbi Levi Yitzchak of Berditchev. He was the one who wrote his Chiddushei Torah. The Levi Yitzchak was saying he was like what he did for later. In fact, quite a few portions of Kedushas Levi was written by Rebbe Nosson. Was penned by Rebbe Nosson. So during the time that he was one of the Choshev Talmidim of Rebbe Levi Yitzchak, and he had ups and downs that were absolutely driving him batty. And there was time that the Talmidim of the Kedushas Levi used to get together, and somebody would go and buy bagels by the baker, and they would sit together and make a sudas chaverim, and they would speak of the greatness of their Rav, of the Kedushas Levi. So one time it was Rebbe Nosson's turn to go to bring the bagels. So, and he was incredibly bitter and incredibly frustrated in his avodah that instead of going to the baker, he went to the Besmedrash, to the Ezos Nosson, and he took a Tefilin, and he started saying Tefilin, and he was crying and crying and crying until he fell asleep. Got tired and fell asleep. And he dreamt that he dreamt that he sees a ladder, that himself climbing a ladder. And he's climbing, and then slipping off and falling down. And then he's climbing anew, and he slips and he falls down. And then he starts again. And he climbs, and this time he's like going up and up and up and up. And then he slips and he falls all the way down. And he's like breaking every bone in his body. He's like, he's on the ground. He's like, that's it, I'm finished. He suddenly said from the top of the ladder in his dream, sees someone's face coming out to him. And this person told him, climb, but hold yourself.
Climb a little, then hold yourself. Climb a little more.
Climb and hold yourself. Climb and hold yourself. And it was years later that he heard that they heard in the town that in Medvedevkin, the nearby town, there's a new young tzaddik that came and that is like something really very special, and he was him and Rebbe Yudel and a few other tzaddikim and kedoshim, and they heard about this and they said, let's go check him out. So they went, and they didn't have any money to travel there, so they walked. Well, Efsha, maybe there's something there we can have a kabel, so they walked. I'm talking about miles and miles. They went on walking, and they got there, and they came for Shabbos. They got there, and there were a lot of people in the room, and there was Rabeinu. Rabeinu was standing there with his back to them, and he was making kiddush, and when he finished making kiddush, he turned around and he looks at the nose and that's the face that shone to him from the top of the ladder. So Rabeinu told him, he says, we know each other already for a long time. He tells him. Before Rebbe Nosson came to him, the Rebbe was talking about Rebbe Nosson for weeks. For weeks he was saying, he says, there's a neshama around here. He says, you don't have a clue what the neshama is. The neshama here is that through this neshama, not even a single word of my writings will ever get lost. And he was talking about how great he is and how wise he is, what a tzaddik he is. He didn't even know that Rebbeinu exists with him at that time. And Talmid Rabbeinu, when Rebbe Naftali said that Rabbeinu was praising the neshama of Rebbe Nosson so much that when Rebbe Nosson actually came, he couldn't believe that it was him. Just a person. It's like like someone who was talking about Rebbe Nosson. So one of the people that I think it was with the Savrana, I'm not sure. Somebody was Shabbat Rebbe Nosson. So one of the people says, what are you praising Nosson so much? I myself saw Nosson eating lokshen with kez. I seen him eating lokshen with cheese. With cheese. So, it's just a human being eating while you're making yourself. So what do you think? Moshe Rabeinu didn't eat lokshen with kez. He's a human being. So that's the only thing is you don't have a clue what human being is. That's the problem. It's just a human being, but this is and the main thing is go up a little and hold on. Go up and hold on, and if you fall, you start again. It says, "I feel a Posh Yisrael mitzvahs karimon." Even the Posh Yisrael, they're full of mitzvahs like a pomegranate. You have to find yourself good points. Start today, start now. And so you should not throw it all away and you lose everything. And everything that you can find yourself that you can do. He said, I won't last, so it won't last. But this time you did it. I tried it 1,000 times before and didn't work. So you got 1,000 times a schar for beginning anew. As the Medrash says, what is it? It's like people that were hired to fill barrels with water, and the barrels themselves had holes in them. So this says, Tipish Ma'omer, that they were full. What did he say? Well, I'm standing here all day long, I'm spilling water into the barrel, and the world just spills out. So what good is the whole thing? What am I doing? What am I accomplishing? But the wise man says, what do I care? I get paid by the hour. I don't care. So it spills out. I don't care. I don't get money, for having full barrels. I'm getting money to fill the barrels.
It's less heavy.
What?
It's less heavy anyway.
Not only this, it means that they'll keep on needing me. If I only have to do is just fill the barrel is full, they fire me. He's got to do. No, but the point is that when you see that the water is spilling out, you get dispirited. You get dispirited. So that's the. The main thing is patience, and survival mode. Don't let go. You should have arichas apayim with no end, to no end. In other words, it's not just a little bit longer, and you basically just trying to find out how long can you sustain yourself. How long can you hold on? No, I can hold on forever. I'm pressured, the Kodesh Baruch Hu, I need this, I need that, I need money, and I have to pay things that I cannot possibly pay, and these are huge amounts of money, and they look for me from the municipality, they look for me from here, they look for me from there, and I have all the chayvah from all sides, and I have this and I have that, and there's no way I can do it, and I cannot, take loans because I'm not mesudadik, I'm not good at handling these kind of things, and I don't know what to do with myself. I'm waiting for Kodesh Baruch Hu to give me the Yeshua already. Or I have these arguments with my wife all the time, and I can't live anymore, and we're getting into these arguments, and we keep on losing, our flexibility because, I say something, and then she says something, and I say something, and she says something, and we keep on getting smaller and smaller and more constricted and more constricted. I can start an all argument in every single give and take between a man and a wife can sort of like, it's going to end. Like the wife says, why don't we get new bookcases? And he says, Lemaisa, the husband doesn't have money to spend on bookcases at that point in time. So instead of saying, wow, that's a great idea. It's a great idea. Why don't we plan for this? Let's check out our finances and see, what comes with that second, and we'll see what, together we'll decide. Instead, it's saying, so I don't have money. So, well, it's the same thing, isn't it? Well, it's not. This, I don't have money. So she says, so she becomes constricted, and she says, all you ever think about is money. Money, money, money. You don't care about anything else, just money.
He says.
So he
all you
says.
think about is spend, spend, spend. So
Right.
I have to think about money.
So no, wait. So he becomes even more constricted, and he said, you know, you're just like your mother. You know,
It's game over.
you know, and when you keep on getting, you know, more constricted, more to the point that you're losing all your talents. You're losing all wiggle room, and then it's like a point to a point. You know, when you put your hands together, you know, powerfully, if you apply that strength to just putting finger against finger, you can break both fingers. Because now the pressure, you know, is spread, distributed. But when it's become a point to point, it becomes like, you know, the pressure per square inch becomes like impossible to.
Bear.
You get constricted and you get discouraged and you get frustrated and you get, you know, more and more, you know, smaller and smaller to the point that you cannot move anymore. And you figure there's no way out. You figure there's no way out. There's no way I can get the money that I need. And there's no way, Kodesh Baruch is not giving me any income at this point in time. What am I going to do? I spoke to Kodesh Baruch already 1,000 times about it, and I'm told him I'm waiting for him. And I'm still waiting for him, and he doesn't come through yet. And it happened already before 1,000 times, and every time he came through, before, after, whatever it is. The point is that the person is put into the washing machine, and it turns, and it turns, and it turns, and the even with a person with a muna, his impulse, his instinct is just to hold on. The point is that if you hold on without renewing your holding on, without renewing your avodah, without renewing doing something else, it becomes like, you know, what's the tensile strength that you're bringing to the table? You know, how much can you carry? How much can you sustain?
It's going to get weaker because you're going to get
Yeah, I mean, you keep on carrying, and then you're going to break. But the point is that if during that time you rejuvenate yourself, you're working on yourself. He says, should be patient without end. Without end. Yeah, Kodesh Baruch Hu is going to give you the Yeshua. Rejuvenate yourself. Don't get discouraged by any kind of confusion, any kind of obstacle, any kind of things that stand your way. Don't, just keep on going. Keep on going. Keep on going. Renew yourself. Do a new avodah. Think what you can add. Now the thing is that you have to understand. Yesterday, we recounted about the Battle of Midway and how things went, and this last-ditch desperation act of the American commander Spruance basically won the Second World War. But the one thing in the headquarters of Fleet Admiral Yamamoto on the Japanese side, when they realized the size of the calamity, they had all the admirals came together, and the Japanese had this tactical genius. The one who designed the Pearl Harbor attack, and Kurishima, that was his name. And so he said, that the second decision of Spruance was to retreat and stand by Midway to protect Midway from Japanese attack. Kurishima said, you know something, why don't we attack them now? Let's go attack Midway now. We can still turn this thing over. The Americans lost so many planes. You know, there's such attrition. We still have our full complement of let's go ahead and finish it off. And had they done that, they would have turned over the defeat of Midway into a victory. But the Japanese wouldn't do it anymore. They said this is a suicidal folly. They're not going to do this anymore. It's just a dream, or it's just, you know, it's just.
Right, because they might have run out of fuel. That's why. And he decided to have a break for 90 minutes. And in that 90 minutes, it took 5 minutes, but that's when America took 12 bombs.
But I'm saying later on afterwards, when they said let's attack, you know the American forces, but what happened was that the spirit was gone. You know, they get up and go. Their get up and go got up and went. They lost it. They lost the initiative. Once they lose the initiative, they lose the war. The thing that a person needs to know, that the very same way that there is to win the war, you know, to lose the war, in the loss of initiative, the same thing exists in regaining the initiative. When a person gets dispirited and gets frustrated and gets old and into his old age, he's getting into this downward spiral, this dynamic of going down, 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 down. If you start grabbing onto something positive, you know, something good, and then you do another one, and then you do another one, suddenly what you're doing is you're changing the dynamics. Suddenly things open up. Suddenly you get a new ruach, you get a new spirit. Suddenly everything looks different.
There's more room for.
Yeah, there's more room. Sometimes you see possibilities. You see, hey, can do. So suddenly it's a different world. What happened before? Rebbe says all the chison is chison ruach. The main thing that is lacking is the ruach.
It's just like ruts on, right?
Yeah. So, but if there's no ruach, when you don't have ruach, then you lose it and you lose it and you lose it and become weaker and weaker and weaker. And the thing is that when you strengthen yourself, when you say, okay, listen, I'm down the dumps. All right, I got it. I'm going to do something new. Yeah, but it's not going to last, and you're going to fall into it. You say 1,000 times, oh yeah, but this time I'm starting anew. And if it won't last, or it won't last, but right now I have it. And you keep on doing it, and it changes things. The same thing with taking care. Okay, let's talk about the money situation, right? You don't have the money, you don't see how you can get the money, and you get, you're thinking, maybe I'll ask him this one, and I'll borrow from that one, and I'll arrange this, and I'll arrange that, and I'll do this, I'll do that, whatever it is, and you become smaller and smaller and smaller. And at the end, you do something desperate. I'm going to take something, even though I can't pay it back. Hashem will help somehow, and I will do this, I will do that. And you get smaller and smaller, and then you end up, somebody says, okay, I'm going to give you money, and can you pay it back? So, you sure? Sure. What do you think? Sure. Sure. No problem. You still don't know what the heck you're going to do, but you're going to do something, and you mean good. If you go with the moon in this thing, You say, listen, I really cannot do anything. I can't. So you go to somebody, that maybe can help, maybe cannot help, maybe has some experience in this thing. And he sits down and says, listen, I don't know what to do. That's my situation. What do you suggest? You have experience with these things. And all of a sudden, avenues start to open. I heard about this one, and he's looking for that, and this is looking for that, whatever, the whole. Suddenly everything goes the opposite. It starts a new dynamics, and suddenly a whole world of possibilities opens up to you. Because you're emistic. But when you're in despair, emes is, you resort to emes only when there's hope. Or when you're totally defeated and surrender, which is the same thing. The main thing is you get to the emes, the nekudas emes. Get to the nekudas emes and realize that, I'm powerless. There's nothing I can do. I can go, but I'm not all there is. I cannot do. Maybe somebody else can. Somebody can help me. So you go and you talk. Sometimes the person you talk to, he himself cannot help you. He says, but he can lead you to somebody else. You can, if your car is broken, you know how to fix it. And you go to a friend, what your friend is a mechanic? He's not a mechanic. How can he help you? But you cannot fix it. So you go to your friend, but your friend says, I cannot fix it, but I know a mechanic. Sometimes, it opens up a possibility. If you're willing to face the emes, you're willing to rejuvenate yourself. It's once said that you talk about your failures, and you really do a cheshbon nefesh only if you believe that you can be masakin, that you can rectify. Because when you lose hope that you can actually fix, you no longer, expose your wounds, because what good will it do, What's the use? So then you start covering it up. It's like a person that has a wound in his hand. So what does he do? He wears a shirt like that. Let the air, air it out, whatever it is, and it'll form a scab and fall up. So when you're walking like this with a scab, it's ugly. And people go like, ugh, what is this? And it should cover it up. It should cover it up. It has to, it has to heal. So it doesn't look good. Stay for a little while. It doesn't look good, and they'll fall off. But if you no longer believe that the wound will ever heal, you already start sewing your suits to reach your fingertips. The wound becomes infected and everything, and worse and worse. Yeah, but what do you want me to do? What can I do? So I should be ugly all my life. Thing is over here. Alichas apayim, wait, hold on. When you're going through a tough stretch, no matter what, it could be children, that look, life is not easy. It's full with challenges, from marital relations, from children, from parnasa, from avodas Hashem. Every single nook and cranny is filled with trials and tribulations nonstop. And it's so easy, if you're trying to lift it all up by yourself, to falter and get frustrated and decide, I'm just giving up. Or, get yourself into some kind of a rut. I'm going to get a job. I'm going to, daven in shul, Baruch Hashem, Zot Hashem, 3 times a day, no problem. And I'm going to sit by my friends, at the table on Shabbos. I'm going to schmooze a little bit, during Hilchos Hashas, Krisater, whatever it is. That's what we do. We'll live here. And sort of let the ebb and flow of life itself. Get into a routine, get into a rut, and just let it go. And somehow ride up, the trials and tribulations of life. But that's not living. That's not living. This is getting old. This is existing. The main thing is to work on yourself and to start new each and every time. And the thing is, let me tell you something. And that's a secret that everybody should know. If if a road is not 100% straight, and really no road really is, but there's a little bit, go up and down, whatever it is. If you go really slow, if you walk it, it's totally straight. What's the problem? It goes a little up, a little down, it's okay. But if you travel 100 miles per hour, it's a bumpy ride, because you're getting from the high to the low, so quickly that you're jumping. When you're getting into Avodas Hashem, the highs and lows, especially in the beginning, they become quickly. It's a bumpy ride. Because you're doing, because you're moving. So you say, whoa, time out. Maybe it's better not to move, Yeah, maybe it's better, no, I need to start with that. I need to go with this. This is ridiculous. I'm not going to put myself into, this kind of back-breaking. That's what they said. Rebbe says. He says in Matan Torah, "Vayanu ha'am vayamdu merachok," and the Jewish people, they moved when they saw what's happening. So they went back. And this is Moshe nigash el ha'arafel asher shama Elokim, and Moshe Rabeinu, he entered the fog, the cloud asher shama Elokim, because this is where Hashem is. Rabeinu says that when anybody is Pchinas Am, the masses, as you say, when you fall into this kind of hysterical, almost feminine kind of state of mind, and you see manias, you see obstacles, you see this, so you stand back. You stand back. You say, whoa, that's not for me, man. Or Moshe, but anybody who is Pchinas Moshe, who has a Pchinas Moshe in him, who is close to Moshe, who is Talmid Moshe, Nigash El Harof, and he goes into the challenge, into the darkness. Why? Asher Shama Elokim. That's where HaKadosh Baruch Hu is.
It's Elokim. It's even if it seems like team,
In the challenge, in the Arafel, that's where the Elokim is. So you're going to have trial and tribulations. The point is, hold on. Find your solutions. If you can't find solutions yourself, be asking somebody else. Says, what do I do? What do I do? But keep on keeping on. Ze b'chinas erech hapayim. It says, Ze b'chinas erech hapayim letzadikim le'reshoim. And this is what it says, erech hapayim. But Kama says, what is erech hapayim? Erech hapayim for the tzadikim, erech hapayim for the reshoim. So there's the erech hapayim le'reshoim. You understand? The Baruch is patient. He's waiting for the reshoim until they do tshuva. But what's the erech hapayim for the tzadikim? Why the tzadikim need erech hapayim? They need the Kodesh Baruch Hu to be patient with them. What patience do they need? עכשיו, זה בחינת ערך הפעם לצדיקים ולרשום שצדיקים צריכים למידה של ערך הפעם. The tzadikim also need this midah of ערך הפעם, שבחינת זיקנה דקדושה, that's old age, that's oldness שבקדושה. בחינת אריכס יום ושונם, make every day long, make avoida every day, put Torah every day, lengthen, widen the day בקדושה every day. בחינת חיים ארוכים, this is long life. Don't fall into old age of Sitra Achachas Shalom. That your avoidance shouldn't be old and feeble by you. But to renew like an eagle your youth each and every time. Each day starts anew. Add on Kedusha, add on Avodah, and don't tire. and don't become weary forever and ever. Don't get confused from anything, don't get discombobulated from anything. That's the essence of being patient. Don't let anything rattle you. And sometimes somebody who serves the Kodesh Baruch Hu is getting weary and is getting feeble and getting tired. Because you already passed through sufferings and agony. A person can fall into old age, oldness, and feebleness, and lack of koyach. That's why a person has to strengthen himself 1,000 times over and over and over in this midah of patience. Kol yomov isn't every single day of his life. In other words, just get patient and take in stride all the trials and tribulations that happen to you during your life. Start each and every time new altogether. And it will take a few more minutes just to finish the simon. There's also B'chinas Eich HaPayim L'Rishon, Shem Gam HaRishon. Hashem Yisbarach Marich Lahem Alpei Kol Yemichem Ad Kedei Sheyeshuvu. Kodesh Baruch Hu is patient with them all the days of their lives, so they should come back to Him. Until the day of his death, you will wait for him. Maybe he will come back. Even the Rishon also have to be patient with themselves. That their own wickedness should not keep them from coming close to Kodesh Baruch Hu. And their heart won't die in them, and they won't get dispirited and despair because they have sinned so much and they have transgressed so much. That's already too much. How much more so they already started a few times over and they fell off from that. They should trust the great chesed of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and they should withstand and ride out everything that happens to them. They should nischazek to start each time now. Maybe today I will be zoichet and rachmanas on myself. Who knows? To leave my way, and his thoughts, and his previous thoughts.